When I tell you to back up, you can run for your backup. But then machine gun shells gonna chew your back up. And once you're down, you're not getting back up. My name is Harley Neville. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast.
And I'm Guy Pigden. And who was that?
That was a bastardization of some rap lyrics from a song I heard many moons ago. It's one of Eminem's gang, but I don't actually remember who it was or what song it is. But he goes, "You can run for your backup. That machine gun shell's gonna chew your back up." But
yeah,
I added the other backups, the other versions of backup that I thought I could use. You see? Yeah,
I see.
It was almost a Harley Neville original. I was sampling. I was sampling lyrics. That's what I was doing.
Well, welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. And it's been a while. We've been away because you've been moving house.
Yeah, I am. Viewers on the live stream will be able to tell that I am currently in I've got a new backdrop. I'm in a different place. And that is because I have clawed my way out of the hole that I've been living in for all of 2020, the basement. I was living subterraneously is maybe a word, like a troglodyte, and it was like a black hole. I just couldn't. If I left the house, if I didn't have anything to do, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just go home for a little while and then find out what I'm doing later, I would never get out of the house again. I would just go, and then I'd just be trapped in this darkened basement, and I'd just be like lying there on my bed with like nowhere, it was a black hole. It was a black hole is what it was. And so I had to get out of there. I took the first place I looked at. I did not spend very long looking. I looked at a few online, and then I saw this one, and it was the first one I came and saw, and then I was like, yep, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it has got its own entrance, which is great. It's got an ensuite like my previous place, also great. But when I open my door, it opens out onto a lovely deck and a garden. So I'm very happy about all of that, really.
So who are your flatmates?
I have no idea. I met them for about 30 seconds twice. So that's a great question. I do not really know. I literally don't know all of their names. There's one of them whose name I don't know yet. I would have been introduced to her when I first, met her on the day, but I haven't spoken to her since I moved in, and obviously, I only met her for 30 seconds last time, and I don't remember her name. So I've got to figure that out. But they seem very nice so far. They're very. There's been no issues whatsoever. Everything seems very chill. They seem very tidy. They could potentially be, a little square, but that wouldn't be a problem for me. It would more just be that I'm perhaps. I would just be more concerned that I was too crazy for them, like maybe I'm not square enough for them, sort of thing. But I have no reason to actually believe they're squares. They could be in there doing heroin right now, for all I know, So yeah, I'm speculating. It's early days. I have no idea.
They would, and they wouldn't think that you were a square. No,
I don't think so. I don't believe so. I'm not a square. I'm obviously a hip and bad dude.
So to look at me. You don't think that quietly going into your room and typing away on your computer in the evenings would imply that maybe you were the square of the
well,
flat?
it is a Saturday night, to be fair, and I'm sitting here talking to you right now. So you might be onto something.
You have not broken bread with the flatties?
Not yet. I have not broken bread. I was kind of hoping maybe they would say like, oh yeah, so let's have a drink on Friday or something like that, or on Saturday or over the weekend or whatever. Get to know each other. But that hasn't happened yet. But to be fair, I've been kind of busy too. I've been kind of settling in, doing my thing. So give it time. Good things take time.
Well, you want to do that sooner rather than later, because you definitely, what You don't want to become the weird guy in the room that just is not, he's never seen, he's never heard, just off in his room.
That would never happen to me.
Quietly typing away on his computer.
Yeah.
And they're like, we
He's
don't know
creepy.
him when he's never around. He's just something he always makes toast.
He eats a lot of this guy eats a lot of toast.
Out of toast. It seems like his only meal that he has during the day is just toast. So on some sort of toast diet.
The toast diet.
I don't know.
You got to live by the toast diet. It works. There was a couple of issues when I did move in. I did notice like there's a grate underneath my desk where there's an aircon system of some description with a grate under my desk which blows a gentle cool breeze onto my testicles all night, which obviously
it doesn't sound too bad.
In summer it's not so bad, apart from the waft of ball sweat that gets blown up my face into my nostrils. But aside from that, it is quite nice in summer. But I'm picturing it in winter. You see, and in winter it may be a lot less, forgiving.
It'll be chilling your balls to the very core.
Yeah.
It'll be shrinking and shriveling your balls.
Well, I mean, my
which will be a real, problem for you mid masturbation.
Yeah. I mean, my penis could be considered flaccid and shriveled at the best of times. So
and then you've got this breeze just blowing right
puckering up
there.
my foreskin, puckering it up.
What have you asked about this air flowing through?
So
like, is there
you're
a way
supposed to be able to shut it off
or?
in the room, right? So I did shut it off. I was like, sweet as, I'll just shut it off. That's the breeze I'm talking about is with it shut. So so I did ask. I was like, hey, can this be like turned off? In the house, can I just be select? Not my room type thing. And they're like, no. And so I was like, all right. So now I've got some cardboard over it, which I've gaffered down to it, and the problem is solved. To be fair, the problem is solved now. At first I was like, oh, I'm going to have to move out. I can't have this blowing directly up my balls all night. This is fucking unacceptable. Am I eating crazy pills here? But then, bit of cardboard, bit of gaffer. Where you fucking go? Robert's your father's brother, yeah?
Yeah, so, yes, and I unfortunately had to help you move
that was unfortunate for you. It's quite fortunate for me.
Well, whereas you seem to, every single time we do a move, you seem to somehow avoid helping me move.
I don't believe that's true, guy.
You always somehow not around whenever I'm needing to do some moving.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, it's a weird coincidence.
You say it's a weird coincidence as if I'm trying to get out of it. But actually, I think what you'll find, Guy, is my project management is really on fleek. I'm a good organized person that gets shit organized with a good amount of time and organizes it at a time when you're going to be available, because I'm a good project manager, you see, and so I make sure the van is available when my labor is available, and my labor is available, and I make it all work, you see. Project management, that's what it's all about. And I just make it look so easy, you don't even realize I'm doing something. Whereas you, on the other hand, a little less organized. So this is what I think it comes down to.
It's just the same when it comes to the flat clean.
Oh, don't even talk to me about cleaning, man. I clean throughout the entire time we live together. You just don't clean at all, and then clean at the very, very end and feel your hard done by.
This is the Harley Devil classic. Don't worry, guys. I'll do the toilet. The toilet is the easiest of all cleaning. It takes like 2 seconds, and you go, "Oh, it's a horrible job. Oh, it's so disgusting." It is disgusting. And it's like you're done 5 seconds later. Meanwhile, 3 hours later,
the
cleaning the oven. Fucking what the fuck? Talk about inhaling.
Okay,
fumes.
but again, Guy, you are forgetting this. This is all project management stuff, because you see what happens is you don't assign. You don't assign tasks to different flatmates. You say this.
Guys, don't worry.
No.
I'll do the least amount possible on this one, guys. Don't worry.
Here's how it works. It is true that I'm doing the least amount possible, but here's how it works, right? Is that you don't assign, jobs to specific people. You say these are the jobs that need to be done, first in, first served, right? So I'll be like, because I'm project managing probably, I'll be like, all right, guys, yep, here's the list of things. I'll take the toilet. And to be fair, the toilet is a shitty job. Cleaning the toilet is a shitty job. It's not good when you're cleaning, especially if you're living with like 5 other people and you're cleaning off years worth of shit stains, of Guy Pigden shit stains because he doesn't wash the toilet. And so it is a nasty job. And the reward for doing that nasty job, and keep in mind, you could catch literal diseases from doing that job. And the reward from doing that is that you get a job which is comparatively short, compared to say the kitchen or some other place.
There's a lot of coincidences going on around
There's
here.
A lot of good project management going on around here is what it is.
A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
So you've moved flats, you've moved out, you basically just moved around. You haven't really gone anywhere.
Again, it was all part of my project management. I was like, quick, easy move, very close.
So now you're in a new flat. And you also timed your move to coincide directly.
Well, yes, yeah. Well, I did have.
Speaking of project management,
I guess what, Guy?
You had an audition.
I had 3 auditions. So yeah, we will talk about those auditions in a minute. But what happened with that was they called me up the day before and were like, can you do an audition tomorrow at 2 p.m? And at 2 p.m. was exactly when I had booked the van for and my cheap labor. And so I had to shuffle it all around. And I went and I did my move. It was all quite, quick and quite, rushed and, getting it done because I had to get there on time for this audition. And then I kind of just blew into this audition, and it was the 3rd audition I'd had. And I sort of blew into this audition and wasn't dressed properly. It was all sweaty. I wasn't dressed like, like the character or anything like that. I just like showed up. Did my best, and then I was like, all right, cool, sweet, thanks, see you guys later, and I left and went and finished moving and finished doing the stuff I was doing, because as it happened, a bunch of my shit was still out on the deck and it got rained on a little bit, so that was good, but so the funny thing was though that I had these other 2 auditions first. All of these are for commercials, and the first audition fucking smashed it. The guy behind the camera was cracking up mid-take at my improvs. The person I was reading across from had like a big long extended chuckle in between takes at my brilliant improvs, and so that went really well. Then the next one I went to also felt like it went really well. I sort of had to do like a cute Wesley from I Survived a Zombie Holocaust-esque smile at somebody, and so I went in there, I rocked it, I did it again. The guy behind the camera seemed pretty happy. He was, he had a wee chuckle in that. He was on board, and then this third one I just blew in, blew out, just like went in there, just did it and left because I was like so busy moving house. Well, I've heard from my agent. Well, I did not get the I'm not in the running for the one where I was cracking them both up. Okay. So that's good. I can give up on that. I have not heard about the second one yet. I'm not sure. But the third one, where I just blew in and blew out, I'm on hold. The homie's on hold. I gotta go back in on Tuesday and do a second audition for that same role. And
that's what you get for putting in
zero
absolutely
effort.
no
Just
effort.
blow on in there. That's the lesson here, kids. If you're out there,
the key is don't try, don't think about it. Just go in and half-ass it, and you will succeed.
That is the Harley Neville way.
The effort put into the other ones amounted to nothing.
No, it did.
So we will we'll see where this one goes. My fingers are crossed. On hold. You're down to the short list.
Well, there's 7 people on the short list, and there's two roles. So that is very close to a 1 in 3 chance That's a very close, because I can do either role, so they might use me for either one. So that is, if my calculations are correct, wait, I wanted to do that maths, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty much 1 in 3. It's slightly more. It's like 1 point something, or 0 point something out of 3. Anyway, doesn't matter. So,
and how much is that juicy audition worth, or the role, I should say?
That was $10,000.
$10,000. Nice work if you can get it. Unfortunately, you don't often get it.
No, but I feel like if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be right now, this year, because 2021, it's off to a good start for me. I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'm out. I'm out of the.
I'm back.
I'm out of the hole.
George,
I'm back.
George is back.
I'm back. I'm out of that house. And so when I, when I want to stand up and stretch my legs, I just walk out the door. I'm standing under the stars. I'm feeling the wind blow through my back hair. I'm a man. I'm just a Paleolithic, era human. I'm still just here. I'm just an animal, right? I gotta see the stars. I gotta feel the wind, and I can do that now. And then so I got that. I've been offered a promotion of sorts, or some added responsibilities and added money. Maybe that's a promotion at the film festival I work for. All my other employers are calling me up again. A bunch of the ones that disappeared in 2020, they're all calling me up now. They all need me. They're all booking me. And I've got a bunch of friends now because I work at the pub. So, it's fucking all go, mate. It's all go.
You've turned it round.
I've turned it all round. It just took a year of complete misery. Complete and utter misery. And my back injury is getting better as well. It's still there. I was feeling pretty sore after moving. I was feeling pretty sore this morning, actually, for no reason. But overall, it is much better. So all I've got to do now is get back to the gym and start having sexual intercourse. If I could just get those two things up and running. Yeah.
2 goals.
Yeah. So yeah, that's 2021 is exactly when it would happen. 2021 is my year. I can feel it. I can feel it in my balls.
Right. Well, have you come up with your word yet for 2021?
That's a good question, actually. No, I didn't really give it too much thought this year. I should have a think about it. To be honest, it was really just basically recover, but that's a shit word for the year, because it's recover is what you do at the very, very beginning, and maybe refresh, or relaunch, or you know what I mean? Basically relaunch type thing. But even then, say I'm halfway through the year and I'm like, all right, Harley, should you take this opportunity or not? Well, I know what to do. Think back to your word of the year. Relaunch. We're like, no, that's not very fucking useful, actually. It's got to be something that can inspire you and help you answer questions in the future. A few years ago, my word of the year was hustle. So I was like, any opportunity I got, I was like, all right, should I do this? And I was like, well, what's your word of the year, mate? It's hustle. Hustle means keep busy. It means say yes. It means get shit done. So I would seize opportunities based off that, idea, even if I didn't really feel like doing them.
Well, also, a new year, new president of the United States.
That's another good thing about 2021, right? It's there's this existential dread that's been lifted in many ways because of the change of power over in the United States. It's that's amazing, right? That's such a relief, and it's just so perfect to see the entire Trump presidency really kind of, combusting, and and to see all of these kind of sad QAnon and MAGA people that are oh, he was just a con man. Oh, actually, nothing that he said was actually true, and he's done fucking fuck all, and all of this stuff about all the QAnon conspiracies about pedophiles and all that. It was all bullshit. It's all shit, and we've been conned. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's we've been very political on the show. We've taken some political stances in the past. some might say we're quite anti-Trump.
That was the feedback that Richard Lambeth gave us. He's not as he's not as anti-Trump as us.
No, he's. But I just wonder if he is like sort of keeping his ear to the news of what Trump is doing day to day in the same way that we are. Because sometimes I feel like he's maybe a little bit disconnected from the comings and goings of the day-to-day travesties that are occurring.
Inciting the vandals to sack the Senate.
But yeah, there's some great things. I listened to Joe Biden's speech, his inauguration speech. It was very moving and uplifting, and more importantly, and this is like this huge difference. It was very presidential. It was like what you expect the leader of the country to sound like and talk about, and kind of, the message that you would hope that he was trying.
The leader of the free world might eloquently evoke.
And it was like, whoa, this is so unlike anything that has ever come out of Trump's
all of these
mouth. The
full
difference
sentences.
is just night and day. And so was really refreshing. It was really good. And I also do love the way that and this is the crazy thing, is that Trump has been silenced. And all it took, essentially, was Twitter and Facebook to be like, nope, sorry. And all his power, all sort of and all his rhetoric just kind of, and we're left with like normalcy. We're left. Like people. All of this stuff, like it's just it leaves with him, but more specifically, it leaves social media presence. And he's kind of rendered this completely ineffectual sort of silent character now that can't manipulate story and manipulate his followers to sort of believe. To me, it was kind of like, man, they really should have done this approximately 3.5 years ago. For the safety of America. Now made. It's almost like 3.5 years ago, he was still saying all this crazy shit. There's this made up sort of 30,000 lies or mistruths or in his presidential term. As in statements that he've made that have proven to be or embellished or not at all accurate. 1,000 of them. That's really a lot. Over 30. A lot of statements to make to the president of this country.
It is a lot, but it's probably only about like 3 episodes of the Guy and Harley podcast worth. So let's keep it in context.
Well,
I'm just saying we'll keep it in context here. There's a lot of lies, but false statements.
It is a lot of lies. So anyway, he's gone. But I noticed that he has signed back in with the climate accord, and obviously a great start to the whole thing is like, oh, it's a guy that believes in climate change. Well, and clean energy. Well, that's if nothing else, we're already up.
It's been good for my stock investments as well. To obviously because clean energy is what I've invested in, and then Biden comes in. It's obviously bad news for Trump and his fossil fuel cronies, and so it's good news for all that type of stuff as well. So the more reason to be happy, really. The like New Zealand's going pretty good, and I happen to be in New Zealand. I do feel a bit bad for the rest of the world. It sounds terrible out there.
Oh, it's that's the thing. It's like we're talking about like life being normal, because we're like the only country in the world, I don't know, Singapore or somewhere like that, where life is normal right now.
Yeah, I think some of the islands, like the Pacific Islands,
that's right.
They don't have any COVID as far as something like that. So there's a few places, but yeah, like life's pretty good for us.
We're the only
not
to
skite, not to skite, because if this new variant gets through the border, then we won't be fucking laughing on the podcast about it. I'll go back to, wanting to fucking end it all. All my employers will leave me, and that'll be that. And
I'll be, and worse than that, I'll have to do remote teaching again, which is really difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll be gaping on OnlyFans again, to pay the bills.
So yeah, it's been interesting. It does seem very positive. But we should also talk. There's innuendo that the Olympics are being cancelled.
Yep, I did read an article the other day, which was very concerning to me, obviously, because that's another thing I did have that I was really looking forward to in 2020 was this contract that I've signed already. It's ready to rock. That I'm going to Japan in July to put graphics on the Olympics, which sounds like an amazing adventure. I'm really looking forward to it. It's given me something exciting to look forward to. But fortunately, even though, it could still happen. They haven't officially announced that it's not happening. Hopefully it does, but it's not looking too promising. But fortunately for me, I didn't let myself get too attached to it because I did know about COVID. So while it is very disappointing, it was also a bit of like, well, if it happens, well, then great, but it hasn't happened yet, sort of thing. So
you were aware of the
likeliness that they would choose not to do the Olympics and invite 100,000 people to attend in the middle of a global pandemic when they themselves, are very aware of keeping their border tight and all of that stuff.
Got to keep your border tight.
That's how we like it. Toit.
Nice tight border.
That's what New Zealand's got. New Zealand's got a nice tight border. That's why everybody wants to get here.
They want in that tight border. They want to get in that tight border because it feels good in here.
And I got to tell you guys,
that's nice.
I'm sorry, we're not squiting, but it does feel good in here.
No. So, so I heard there was like an article about it being cancelled, and then it was like, well, it's not actually officially cancelled. Like all the other countries were like, hey, wait, you can't cancel it. And it was like, and then something was like, well, it was more of an internal memo.
Yeah, that's been leaked.
Stage.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, that sounds quite definitive, that internal memo, if that's coming from the place that plans on hosting it. The Japanese do like to follow the rules and be very by the book. So, I to be honest,
racist generalization, but yeah.
I believe that's more of a assessment of a culture than a racist generalization.
Right.
Assessment of a culture's values.
Okay.
And
anyway,
it's not
like how Australians are all thieves.
It's not confirmed yet, but we'll see if everyone else gets the memo.
Yeah. Well, maybe they haven't released the memo yet because they haven't quite decided yet.
Well, I think it's more. I think they've decided. It's more everyone else that is not happy about that decision.
Yeah. Well, why would you be? Why would you be? Yeah. Well, You know what I'm loving at the moment is, I'm 37. We're 37, and we were the first generation of internet pioneers, really. Like we were there.
Out there exploring the fringes of porn.
It would load. When it would load, one tiny little sliver of screen at a time from the top down. I still get a boner from the dial-up sound to this day. And so but anyway, you and I and other people, our generation, we went from this pre-digital era into this digital era, and pre-internet into this internet era, and we sort of saw it all: the rise of social media, MySpace, Bebo, all that stuff. YouTube, we got into the ground floor at YouTube. 2006 we were on. And so we also witnessed the birth of the influencer. You see, the influencer, these people out there that kind of just, skate on through and basically be attractive and then, tell you to do things and somehow make a living out of it. And so what I'm kind of loving, and this is a little mean, but I'm really sort of loving watching this first generation of Instagram influencers age out of, what they think they do. They've sort of skated through life, posting pictures of themselves being, very handsome or very beautiful. And now they're they're getting older, and there's this fresh new generation of people coming through, that are, too hot. And they're, too hot, too cool, and they're all, familiar with modern, meme and culture and, internet wokeness and litness and on fleekness and all that stuff. So suddenly, I'm starting to notice a lot of the influences that I, do keep an eye on. There's more and more filters and like shitty angles, as they're sort of trying to remain, competitive. And sexy, but of course they can't compete anymore. And so I'm just quite enjoying that really. And I'm finding that what they're doing to try and like remain relevant once they, they're trying to be like woke, like they're like suddenly now they're like life coaches. They're woke life coaches that can teach you all about like how to reconnect with yourself and all of this type of shit. And it's just delicious to watch because they can't really do it because they're stupid, pretty people with no life experience. So yeah.
Is there anyone in particular?
Oh, there was a few that have just been people that I've been like following on Instagram and stuff that I've never met in real life, and I don't even know why I'm following them, and I'm like, but I've just been following them for like 10 years or something, and then so I'm like, well, I follow them because I follow them, but not like anybody, not famous influencers.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I like is when, people have like a real honest moment of dread on Facebook. Like a real raw moment of honesty, like that, where they just blurt something out about, the meaningless of their lives. I remember I saw someone that we went to high school with, who was kind of like a jock bully. And he was like, man, like, I just saw a random post. And it was like, man, I just don't get it. I mean, like, is this it? Is this what life is now? I just don't understand what I'm meant to do or what the point is of anything. It was just a kind of a thing, and it was like, yeah, that's it, mate. It is it for you. That's it. It's curtains for you now. You peaked at high school, and it's all downhill. And yes, it's a very miserable existence. And thank you for sharing that.
What was this jock's, like first initial? Or first and second, preferably.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out which jock it was.
First initial was M, I think.
Okay.
Right. M. Well, I can't. I barely even remember his name. I'm sure he's still on my Facebook.
ML.
Yeah, maybe.
Merry old.
Anyway. I'm not sure.
Merry old. Yes. Well. Well. That is good to see. That is.
And also
the enemies, our enemies from the past.
And I'm not even saying that's just a bully, but I also love it when my friends post them as well, because it's like, yeah, look, life is actually shit a lot of the time, and things don't go your way, and it can be really quite depressing and tough, and we need to see more of that on Facebook. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about you posting you looking ripped at the gym. That's really not that interesting.
I am guilty of that.
What is interesting is your total meltdown.
I say car crash TV, but it's car crash Facebook.
Yeah, well, it's more just again like a peek through the blind into the actual reality of someone's life, as opposed to their manufactured online life. That's what I like. So it's always good when I see that. But that certainly that guy just being like, "Is this it? Is this my life?" Was a brilliant.
Is this the summary of all of my decisions? Is this where I've ended up?
What happens now? Yeah. Isn't there something more?
Yeah. Well, life. It'll disappoint you.
It will let you down.
But it's the only one you've got.
Speaking of things that won't let you down, is we received our older quarterly earnings report. Now, essentially every quarter we get a report about how much money Older has earned on the streaming platforms that it's currently on. And this quarter was essentially half a month's worth, or a month.
And we are, of course, talking about Older, that you can watch at www.olderfilm.com. You can go there right now, www.olderfilm.com, and you can hit buy now, and you can check out our second feature film, which Guy's going to tell you all about the earnings of, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sort of made some rough calculations, but basically what was surprising about it is I was expecting that we would get between $1 and $5 from this quarter, because the film is essentially, it's not a whole entire quarter. It's
it's a quarter of a quarter,
tiny fraction. It's a quarter of a quarter, because it's just this first month, and then the next quarter will actually have a full quarter in terms of the report, and yet it was substantially more than
We're rich. We're fucking rich. And cancel your Patreon. Cancel your Patreon. We don't even need it anymore.
We don't need it now. And so it was very encouraging and you can't, unfortunately, if you could project a quarter's worth of income based off that quarter of a quarter, it would be really good. Now, the reality is we may have peaked. With that,
I feel like we're being misleading as to exactly how good this was. I feel like people will be like, yeah, they must have made tens of thousands of dollars.
No.
Were you going to tell them how much it was now?
Well, I mean, we could say that I guess we made $1.
We made less than $1,000, but it was US. It was US dollars, and we live in New Zealand.
So that means slightly more than $1,000.
But that also doesn't count another $500 or so from people who bought it directly from us via Vimeo, which is the most lucrative way. So look, anyway, the film cost us, $15,000 to $30,000 to make.
Yeah, so we only needed $29,000.
We've made $1,500
to break even. We only need $28,500 to break even. Don't worry. We're still a little way off selling up, buying a new house. That's not on the cards, but it still is very encouraging.
Please don't cancel. Don't cancel your Patreon.
So don't cancel your Patreon just yet. We still need $28,500 to break even.
Shout out to our latest patron, Jeremy Howson. Jezza, thanks, mate. Do appreciate that.
Thank you, Jeremy, and your Blu-ray is on its way to you if it has not already arrived. So appreciate that one. Signed a special edition.
I didn't sign anything.
It didn't have time for you, mate. Straight to the post office.
No.
I did actually debate. I was like, look, I can send it now, or I can wait till
Yeah.
But then I was like, but what if I forget?
So you're like, fuck Harley and
when
fuck Jeremy too.
And I was like, fuck this. I was like, fuck this guy. I was like, what's important here? The direct, not the producer.
No.
Who cares about the producer?
Yeah.
No one ever
I'm
remembers
a co-star.
the name
I'm also a
producer.
co-star, to be fair.
No one remembers either co-stars or producers. They only remember the name of the director and the lead.
You're right, Guy. And now that I think about it, why did I even make this movie?
For the $1.2 thousand that it's made.
Yeah, I think we'll call it $1,500.
It's definitely
no, it is because it's US dollars. So, it's probably more like 2,000 New Zealand dollars.
If you count the Vimeo,
which I do, it's all income. It's all income from our movie.
So, but that is very encouraging. It's very positive, and I'm just hoping that we're building in the algorithm as opposed to we peaked in the algorithm. And the other sort of interesting thing about that is, I had some really good point about it, but it can't have been that interesting because...
Bruh, you got to lay off the wacky backy, homie. It's starting to affect your short-term memory.
Oh, that's what it is. So, essentially what it means, right, because you have to remember that Amazon streaming is between 1 and 5 cents. If your CER or CPR is low, which is like your basically your fraction is low, which it would be to begin with, it's going to be 1 cent. And we received $300 or something through Amazon Prime, which essentially means that 30,000 people on Amazon Time had watched
That's
it.
pretty good.
30,000.
That's pretty good.
And then that's not counting where we actually made substantially more money, which
can
is
they not
TV.
tell us that?
They probably
like
can
how many views we've had. Like
they probably can if we
should
email
get that.
them.
But that is interesting about Tubi.tv as well, because Tubi.tv, if you guys go right now to www.olderfilm.com, there's a button there that says buy now. You click on that. Now you can buy it directly from us. That's the best way to do it. But it only works, it's not available in all over the world. So you've got to click on it and see if it's available for you on Vimeo. That's the best way to buy it from us. You can also watch it on Amazon and Google Play. But in that same buy now button, where you click on that buy now, it'll take you to a link. It's got all these links in here, and one of them is Tubi, and it's free. You can literally just go there and watch it. You don't need to subscribe. You don't even need an account. You just go there and watch it. Absolutely free. And yet somehow, due to this new business model, this is the version that's made us more money than Amazon.
And will likely continue to be the version that makes us more money. I mean, we won't. I'll be 100% sure of that till the next quarter, but it's very likely, judging by that initial response. So, Tubi TV is where it's at, which is true now. What they're talking about is like essentially it's COVID, it's lockdown, people are poor, right? So people are quite willing to watch things with little ads in them that are free streaming, as opposed to having to sign up for a Disney Plus and a Netflix and a HBO Max and a Peacock and a this and a that, and whereas they could just watch it with a couple of ads on something like Tubi. So
Tubi, that's Tubi.
So it's all very interesting, and we'll keep you up to date in 4 months' time when we get our next quarterly report. Will be, I guess. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that is very exciting.
Yeah. So, but it's encouraging. When you're expecting to get $1 to $5.
To be honest, it was about what I kind of thought we'd get. I was not like surprised by that. I was not unhappy with it. I was not like ecstatic about it. I was like, yeah, no, that seems about kind of what I sort of thought. So,
well, we have access to see how all the films on Indie Rights are doing if you're an Indie Rights member. And I've been looking at those extensively. And so I think I had assessment of it, judging by
and yet
where a lot of those
you had
are.
a more realistic understanding of it, and yet my expectation was more realistic than yours. Because my expectation was right. My expectation was reality. So let that sink in.
I guess so.
Let that sink in. See if you can figure that one out.
Well, based on the research,
so it just goes to show: do not pay too much attention to research or evidence. Go with your gut.
Like Trump now. It sounds like Trump talking again now. So that's cool. Very happy about that, and we'll be interested to see, because I guess I know that to some degree, following that, we have been more substantially picked up by the Amazon algorithm. And so, will that translate to something different? Will it translate to nothing?
Time will tell.
We'll just have to sit and wait.
I think what's going to happen is it's just going to sit there quietly earning, and just going to be another little passive income stream. And it's just going to be, it's not going to make us rich, but it's going to make our lives slightly easier, because every 3 months we'll get a little paycheck that's just been building up passively on the internet. And it might take a little while to get that budget back, but then once you do, it's all profit for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll probably get, the checks will get smaller, but, it's still something.
Well, in theory, if the things continue the way they do for a year, we would wait. So fingers crossed.
Our YouTube channel is monetized again as well, so that's it's all go around here. And then there's our patreon.com/pigville, and then quite a few people have been signing up to Sharesies and Stake for investing via my my referral link. So all this passive online income, it's all building up, guys. This is the way to live. I think I'm pretty sure I've cracked it. I've become an influencer somehow. But no, I'm a content creator.
And you can't age out of it because you're already old,
right? It's brilliant.
We also did receive an invite from Shockfest to enter the reason remonetized on YouTube, which is Asylum. We've been remonetized, and I just received an email today from the Shockfest Film Festival asking us if we would submit it.
How did they find it? They find it via YouTube? Because that wouldn't make sense.
I don't think they know it's on YouTube. But I also have a feeling that perhaps they're looking for film festival fees currently.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, though, that anytime... This is how you reply. Anytime anybody asks me to submit my film, I say yes, I would absolutely love to. I'm totally keen. However, I will need a fee waiver. Because obviously... Yeah. Obviously, it's just a scam otherwise. You just go around, you tell a bunch of people to apply, and then you don't accept them. So if they approach us, you get the fee waived. This is a tip for indie filmmakers out there, aspiring producers. Get the fees waived. They'll do it if they really want you.
Of course. So that's what I will be replying to Shockfest.
Good man. Well, that's good. It's great. That'll be the second or third festival screening of our short film Asylum, which is currently available on YouTube. If you search for the Pigville channel, which is Pigville and the number 2. That's the name we've been making movies under for 20 years now. And you can go there. It's our latest upload, actually. So it's easy enough to find. Asylum. People are loving it. And that always surprises me, because I feel like it's not our best project. But what do I know? The audience knows what the audience knows.
You don't know shit.
I don't know shit. Asylum is art. It's the best thing we've created, judging by the comments and how people are enjoying it on YouTube. And I'm just an imbecile, evidently. I don't know shit. Now, I do have an update on my about 4-year-long quest now, Sperm Quest, DSV. Now, Sperm Quest is my adventure to have up to 10 children with up to 5 women via becoming without doing any work. The benefit for me is that I'm helping people who want to have babies, and I'm making a positive change in people's lives. But I'm also affecting evolution. I'm passing on my genes. I'm 37. I've failed to have children so far. I might have missed the boat. I might have missed the boat on this one. Who knows? I mean, I can't even have sex, let alone have children. So, I can't get a girlfriend. So I was like, look, I need to spread my genes. I'm a real believer in evolution. When I say believer, I mean I understand evolution, and so I want to affect it. I want to pass on my genes, which I think are pretty excellent. Although if you were to look at me on the live stream right now, you would see that I'm incredibly hairy on my shoulders and incredibly bald on my head, and that's arguably not really very good genes. But nevertheless, we'll let history decide. We'll let future generations make that decision. So I have now officially made 3 donations to the clinic. They said they want 6 donations total. So I've done three deposits so far because they need to get enough sufficient volume. They need to get sufficient volume, in order to be able to impregnate up to 10 women. And so I've done 3 so far, which is in my case, 3 liters of semen. So, that's sort of where that's at. I've got 3 more to go. My first one, I mentioned on the show, I was hungover. I had a traffic altercation on the way there and called a guy a dickhead and a wanker. And then I went in there and jerked off into a cup. So that kid's life was off to a really, really excellent start. He's gonna grow up to be a winner, that one.
Born out of pain and anger
and abuse,
frustration. Yeah.
So
good luck to him.
Yeah,
or her.
The second one, I made sure I thought about a man while I was jerking off into the cup. So that one's going to be gay. That one. That's how it works.
So if you're ever wondering how someone decides their sexual preference, it's what the person
thinking about
that produces the sperm was
when
thinking
they
about
ejaculated.
Yeah,
there you go. Maybe that is it. So that's the update on Sperm Quest DSV.
Well, I'm sure everyone was really, really hanging out for that. Really wanted to know
Long-time
more about
listeners definitely want to know. This has been going on for 4 years. It started and it stopped. It started and it stopped. But I feel like they want to see this. They want to ride this out to the end. The sperm story.
So, in other news, I've also been trying to get back the rights to I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, our first feature film.
Yeah. So,
I've ongoing been trying, and what's disturbing about the whole process is just how badly we
fucked ourselves.
Yes, exactly. Just how badly and repeatedly we ourselves over in terms of the things that we've done and the things that others have done unto us.
And so if people would like to know exactly what we're talking about, search for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. Holocaust, not apocalypse. I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. You can watch it on iTunes. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of different places you can see it. We don't get paid a single cent when you do that, but other people are making money, which is great for them. But you can go and watch it if you want. I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. It's a good film, and it's on. You can also go watch the trailer on YouTube. If you watch it on the Pigville channel, then that does help us. We're going to get some ad revenue from you watching the I Survived a Zombie Holocaust trailer, which I'll also share on the Facebook page, facebook.com/GuyAndHarley, which is our podcast Facebook page.
So there's a lot going on there, because essentially we have deals with, we have a New Zealand Australian, we have a US Canada deal, we have a UK deal, and we have a German deal, a German Switzerland somewhere else.
We also were in I'm pretty sure Philippines, and
that's right. And
then
ones.
Yemen or somewhere like that. I'm going to Yemen.
Those deals those smaller deals are underneath another deal. So they're underneath the umbrella of a larger deal. So it's in we didn't make the direct agreement with them. That agreement was made through them and our sales agent or one of our sales
umbrella,
agents.
But
so it's a little
instead
bit
of
different.
protecting you, it makes it worse for us.
Yeah. But the deals that we've signed have some pretty crazy rollover clauses where it's sort of like if the film, hasn't recouped this much, they get to keep it for an extra 2 years.
Right.
And it's like, well, wouldn't we get it back sooner if it hasn't?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot going on there, and
are you making some inroads or not? Are you making some inroads on getting us the rights back to our first feature film, I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, which was signed away not really by us, but by people that should have known better?
Well, that's the thing. I think it's unfair to say that people should have necessarily. I mean, some people should have known better, and some people, it's the tale of oldest time, which is people get taken advantage of when this is their first.
Yeah. And we have been taken advantage of.
And we certainly fall into that category. So, yes, it looks like the first rights that will revert back to us is 2022. We should have received them back already, but because of a creative loophole, they've gotten a extension till 2022. That's when we'll be. And this is the other
our
thing
sales
too.
agent, Brock Turner Productions, is taking advantage of us.
And what we also don't know is we get it back in theory, right? In 2022, we get the rights back. But we don't get the rights back if they've sold on the rights for many more years.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So although the rights will revert back to us, the deals that they have in place will be ongoing until the end of
but do we get the money now? Because that deal is the rights go back to us, and they've paid for the rights to use it. So they sell it to some third party, and that third party then is paying, selling it, and a certain amount of money is going back to the sales agent, but it's no longer going back to the sales agent. It's going to us now because now we own it.
Well, the problem is...
So thanks for the deals, you dudes.
That doesn't happen. Essentially, the deals stay in place. So, for example, we don't know how long our sort of deal for the US and UK is. We know how long it is till we get the rights back, but we don't know the deal that they made when they sold on those rights. Was it 20 years? We don't know, because we don't even get to see what that deal is until those rights expire, as in the rights revert back to us. So what we might find in 2022 is that they're like, yep, here you go. So you got another 5 years on that one. So very sad at the moment.
Well, it is when you consider, you look at Older, right? And you go, this is a small indie film, and you look at the payments for our first quarter, and you're like, hey, that's actually real money in our bank. And it's like, okay, you mean we could have been getting payments like this every quarter for the last 6 years from a much bigger film with a more active, niche, motivated genre audience, a
much more sellable film, a much
more sellable film, right? So imagine if we had been getting that for 6 years. But, Pigville, close but no cigar. I believe that's what that curse is called.
Well, it's the curse of ignorance,
which
really,
is the Pigville curse.
But it's interesting because it's like, I forgot. I was mainly focused on this US and Canada getting those rights back, because those are the sort of big ones. Because it's not it's US and Canada and all other international territories, right? Bar the ones that I mentioned. So bar New Zealand, Germany, and bar the UK. So that's actually quite a lot of places. But then I kind of forgot. I was like, we've got a whole separate deal with the UK. What's going on there?
What is going on there?
You know, I'm trying to find out.
Because it's been 5 years. So how long was this deal?
Well, there's the thing. So the deal itself, I believe, is 10 years from 2014. But again, there's sort of there's a whole bunch of things that are missing in the contract that I looked at and need to get. And the same with it's like, where are all these reports as well of like, yeah.
Here's what I think should happen. I think that somebody should take I Survived a Zombie Holocaust and they should put it on Vimeo. And they should then make that link clickable and buyable by anybody who were to click on it. And I think that we should just not say anything more about that, but just put that link in some places. Someone just puts that link in some places.
Well, also, we need to find out if, because, it was on iTunes.
Is it not anymore?
Well, iTunes doesn't really exist in the same way. It's been kind of split into Apple TV and Apple Music.
Well, that's good because iTunes was an absolute abortion of a fucking platform. It was so frustrating. I still can't figure it out. I'm like, where's my music again? I've been using it for like 15 years. I don't know how it works. If you're listening on iTunes, though, please go ahead and give us a review and a rating. Richard Lambeth was going to give us a review on iTunes, but he couldn't figure out couldn't see where it was. But I hope he found it. But if you guys could give us a rating and a review on iTunes, that would help us. Even though I don't know how it works.
Yeah, so it's all very of well, it says I Survived a Zombie Holocaust on iTunes.
Yeah, no, I thought it was there. Yeah. So someone's making money.
But it's like, cool. Oh, watch on Apple TV. There we go. So that's where it's... but I guess the thing is, it's like, okay, so how... where is this reporting of these things?
Yeah.
Because presumably people are still... Are you telling me that in 3 years... No one's clicked purchase.
Yeah. No. It's getting heaps of good reviews. I was reading the reviews on, I think it was Amazon Prime the other day for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. And like, it's about probably like 70%. 70% of them are like, this is a really good film. I really enjoyed the references to like the traditional, horror films, the early zombie films, all of that type of stuff. That's probably 70%. And they're like 4 and 5 star reviews. And then there's 30% that are like 1 star, and they're like, this is the shittest thing ever. And do you know what's annoying about it is often those ones like, this is shit because it takes too long to get to the zombies and some of the jokes don't work. And it's like, yeah, well, we know, but you're watching the wrong version. If you got to watch the New Zealand Australia version of it, that is the cut. There's 2 cuts out there, just like older. We've made the same. Horrible concession twice, which is that, both of our films have 2 versions out there. In older, you've got the version on Amazon Prime, Google Play, and Tubi, which is 4 minutes shorter and has all the sex cut out of it. And then on Vimeo, which you buy directly from us, we've got the Sextended edition, which is 4 minutes longer, and it's pure sex. It's just 4 minutes of extra sex. And but most people are not watching the Sextended edition. They're watching the censored version. And then same with I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. There's 2 cuts. There's the international cut that went everywhere, all the important places in the world. Which is 6 minutes longer, and it does take longer to get to the zombies, and some of the jokes don't work as well. And then there's the cut that we actually wanted to release, which we ended up somehow not releasing properly, and it's only available in New Zealand and Australia, probably on fucking DVD. And so, that's the problem. People are out there watching like basically a previous cut of I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. If we set up this Vimeo account and we set up this Vimeo link, I can assure you that in that hypothetical situation, that it would be the proper director's cut of I Survived a Zombie Holocaust that you would be watching, dear listener.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. In theory, so one of the international iTunes version will be the wrong
so
version.
maybe the New Zealand iTunes version is the right
version. New Zealand
version
should be the right version, but it's very
hard
hard to tell.
Do you think they even do that, though? I reckon that, like, iTunes is just iTunes, and they just turn it on. It's like a tap. They turn it on to New Zealand, or they turn it off to New Zealand, You
may well be right in terms of that. That is a possibility. It depends who supplied what is considered, like, regionally, that link is who's kind of in charge of it. It does, on my just link that I've clicked, to be the long version. That's not good. But I'll keep you all updated on that one. How and unraveling, will it be 2025? I Survived the Zombie Holocaust rebooted?
Time will tell.
The crazy thing is, so much time has passed since we made that now, and yet we are still like, so where are these things at? Oh, 2 years away. It's mental.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I also have heard a lot of horror stories about films that were signed away for 20 years, and that is a very common thing as well. So when you fuck yourself over, you hope that you only fuck yourself
for a few years, not a decade.
You don't fuck yourself over for a full 20.
No.
But we'll find out. Doing some intel, doing some research. 2022, you most likely be popping up on Amazon through us, at least in multiple territories. So, fingers crossed for that one.
Indeed. Well, I'm happy to keep talking, but you're going to have to initiate the next topic.
So you're out of topics, is what you're saying.
Oh, well, what do we got here? I see that you've changed your mic sock back to the bigger mic sock for some reason.
I always have the bigger mic
sock.
No,
you said to me that I should be changing to the little mic sock, and you had the little mic sock, and then but I can't find my little mic sock.
So essentially, I had a little mic sock that didn't quite fit. I just said you should go to a thinner mic sock.
This is not the mic sock that came with my mic, though. I lost the one that came with my mic, and it matches your mic.
Well, but this mic sock, ours didn't come with a mic sock, because if you look at the actual mic here on the live stream, it's not meant. No, that's wrong. It in theory shouldn't need a mic sock, but it does. So I had to buy this custom because I didn't like the old mic sock, which was thinner, had this edge bit here, and I just didn't like how it didn't fit on properly.
Yeah, it didn't sit on there properly. All right. It was
so now I have a larger one, but I have had
it's like a condom, right?
The last 10 podcasts or so.
Yeah.
So that's very
I like to keep condoms in my first aid kit. Yeah, just in case I can't save them.
So dad joke number 1, in case anyone's keeping score.
That's necrophilia joke number 1. To be fair, that's not a dad joke. That's a necrophilia joke.
Yeah. Well.
On that note.
On that note, I will also say we have been talking about the saga of my PC. The PC Mac war.
Well, it's not really a war. You just used to be a cool Mac attacker, and then you decided to be a PC-ness, and now you're horribly regretting it due to the obvious inferiority of PC.
thought
and
that
the cult of PC.
I thought I could do things differently. I thought I could save money. I thought I could get more for less. And I thought I could provide myself an upgrade path that was more for someone that needed to continually, rather than buy a new computer every couple of years, could just buy a new CPU or something, because the problem is cameras are getting higher resolution, more bit rates, more data, and this is now we're past the HD, and I was only equipped for the HD era of filmmaking, and now we're in the 4K era, and now my editing system is behind the times. So I had this big plan. It's been horrible. Things haven't worked consistently for the past 4 months. I tried to sell it. I couldn't sell it because PCs don't retain their value. I've prayed to the heavens. I've thrown it out to the Sifty 160. I said, hey guys, can you help me? Any advice? Bernie told me to upgrade my RAM. I tried that. It did make
you
things
spent
slightly
more money
better.
on it.
I spent more money on it. I spent more money. So maybe it's, and this is the thing. When you're in an abusive relationship, the first thing you do is go, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. That's why all these things are going wrong and so terrible, and all these bad things are happening in this dynamic. Maybe I am the wrong one. So I need to fix myself. And I need to try all these things. I tried to do all these things to fix it. But, to be honest, to be perfectly honest, this 4 months of research, I've become a PC expert. I've tried all the things. And my conclusion is that PCs do just fucking suck. The operating system, Microsoft 10 is horrible and bloated and slow, and it slows down all the programs. Now, all the separate components of the PC don't necessarily work in tandem to give you the smoothest types of playback and control when you're editing. And PCs is for gaming. That's what it's for. It's not for fucking editing. If you're editing on a PC, you are compromising yourself. You just don't understand it because you haven't used a Mac before.
Tyler, we're talking to you, Tyler.
That's right, Tyler. You think that it's all smooth sailing. Yes, it may be better for visual effects and stuff, but for pound editing, for smoothness on the timeline, for playback, non-choppy playback, the Mac is a good Mac is unbeatable. And to sort of illustrate this point, I reached my wit's end. I didn't know what to do. I put it up for sale again on Trade Me. No one was interested. I was just like, I don't know what to do, man. I just don't know what to do. And then I realized that the internet is a powerful place full of helpful information. Yeah. And I turned to the internet and with this problem, and they came back to me with the solution
from 10 years ago.
The solution to create a Hackintosh.
Turn your PC into a Mac.
So essentially, I've just spent the last few days turning my PC into a Mac so it'll run like a Mac and be much better.
Is that working?
And, after several failures, and many of the forums and YouTube tutorials, I have now successfully converted my PC to a Mac. And I've just done I haven't done a real huge project yet, but obviously the operating system runs better. Mac Big Sur runs better. A PC pretending to be a Mac runs better than a PC being a PC. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, all you fucking PC-nuses. Let's just think about that.
Call them what they are, guy.
The operating system that is designed. I've tricked my PC into running better by telling it it's a Mac. and said, so far it seems relatively stable and not too buggy, but you know, updates to come. I am still kind of hoping that I manage to sell it, because you know, it's just too much drama. And to be perfectly honest, you know, my little Mac laptop, while it can't do some things quite at terms, it really does most things as well. So, but yeah, so my PC is now a Mac, and I'm much happier. I feel like, you know, the balance restored. The balance of the force has been restored. I was in the dark side too much, and now I thought it was the chosen one. He won my PC.
Yeah, no,
it was meant to bring balance to my editing, not destroy it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There we go. That's just my...
You really should have asked me about that one first. I want to give a couple of shout outs.
You can't ask an illiterate man how to read.
And yet here I am. Not with these PC issues that you have. Here I am just coasting through life again. No problems. It's weird. It's almost like I'm really good at stuff, despite appearing that I'm not. Now I want to give a couple of shout outs to people on the live stream. We've got John Ross, so shout out to John who's watching, and he also is in Scotland, and he has seen I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, and on the live stream Dottie Pie is also watching, and Dottie Pie wants to see more of my hairy shoulders. Dottie Pie is loving the hairy shoulders, and John replies that you can actually see my hairy body in all its full glory in I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. So if people want to get out there, check out I Survived a Zombie Holocaust and my hairy body, you can do so. It's on iTunes, it's on Amazon, all those places. I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. And also, coincidentally, I'm actually wearing a piece of the Guy and Harley podcast merchandise, which I'm now showing to the live stream.
Yeah, along with your hairy shoulders.
Along with my hairy shoulders, you see. So I'm using my hairy shoulders to plug our merchandise, and you can get that merch. All you got to do is go to facebook.com/Guy and Harley, and I'll post the link there, and you can get your merch there. And also John says that I Survived a Zombie Holocaust is great. So thank you, John. Thank you, John, for watching and thank you,
Dottie, for joining us on the live stream here.
Follow on your way out the door.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably time to wrap it up. I do actually have a movie review, maybe.
Well, let's fucking hear it, mate.
So I managed to catch Unhinged.
That'll be me, because I'm currently on the dating app Hinge. Sorry.
Yep. So I feel like
Hinge.
I feel like that is what we should call the segment, and then we should use a clip from the movie.
Okay. But we've got to use the I Survived a Zombie Holocaust quote is the problem. We've got to have sorry.
Well, I guess we should do that.
The Hinge.
I guess we should do that, and then we should end it with the Unhinged movie quote. But anyway, it's I don't know if you've heard about this one. This is Russell Crowe as an unhinged man.
She has more than twice our guns. She has more than twice our numbers, and we must stop her.
Now, you know what's funny about that, right? Is that quote is from Master
Bader and Commander, I believe is actually what it's called.
And someone tweeted or Instagrammed or atted Russell Crowe and was like, hey, guys, if you ever need to sleep during the pandemic, I highly recommend Master and Commander. Great, you know, if you're feeling restless, sort of thing. Russell Crowe's normally good, but you know, this one is not, sort of thing. And he replied to that, and he's like, yes, it's a shame the kids today have no patience. An amazing film, and he sort of went on to talk about it. So it's clearly one of his favorites. And
it's not one of my favorites. So it was too long and slow for me. I just like, I just
kids these days have no attention.
I just always felt like I enjoyed. She has more than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers, and we must stop her.
Really remember, apart from that fucking quote that you've said ad nauseum for the last
10 years, 15 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 15 years.
I used to sound more like Russell when I did it.
Was the bit where essentially they're all about to have they're having a shoot off with this other ship, and they're all.
I'm going to jump on OnlyFans and have a shoot off after this podcast finishes.
And then someone is like holding on to like some ropes, and on it he's got tattooed on his hands, "Hold fast." I remember that. Close up of "Hold fast." You're like, ooh, cool. So I
think that's a pretty authentic sailor tat.
Yeah, I don't remember a thing apart from that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Unhinged is Russell Crowe's new film, where essentially, I don't know if you remember the film Falling Down, where a guy has a snaps and loses it.
Yeah, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. Yeah.
That's Chumbawamba.
Tub thumping. Chumbawamba.
Yeah, but so Falling Down is when Michael Douglas has this bad day and he kind of loses it and gets a machine gun and does all sorts of crazy shit.
Massacres some people.
He doesn't, but
from a hotel room
in
Vegas.
If you imagine Michael Douglas's character in Falling Down, end of that character
was Michael Douglas in the game?
Yes. The end of that character being the beginning of this film's character, as in he's totally lost the plot. He is, quote unquote, unhinged, and he basically does some bad stuff. But it all starts. He says, "I'm going to show you what it's like to have a bad day," to this person who was behind him at the lights. He didn't go on the lights, and she tooted angrily. And he sort of came up to the side and he goes, I don't deserve a double tap, not a double tap.
Yeah, a doo-doo.
Yeah. He goes, "Let me show you," and he demonstrates it. And she's like, you didn't you were just stuck at the lights, so I needed to go, sort of thing. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. And now if you could just, I've been having a little bit, I haven't been having a good day, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sorry. Do you have something to say to me?" And she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, "Wow. Okay, I'm apologizing to you." And she's like, No! I don't have anything to apologize for.
No, Harley.
Essentially, this is off a chain of events which really gets pretty crazy. And I think there's a lesson here about road rage. And also, when someone says sorry, it's sometimes a good idea to follow suit. But and it's quite a good film. It's definitely worth a watch. I recommend it. Unhinged. But I will say that the real problem with the film is Russell Crowe's weight.
Oh yeah, he's a fat boy nowadays. He's a fat boy.
Russell Crowe has gone from being occasionally a little chubby.
He's been fat for 10 years.
Yeah, but just a little gut, right? He's gone from that little thick boy, but now he's gone from that to, in this film, morbidly
obese man. Well, good for him for still acting though.
And look, he's great in it, and his acting is great. His performance is great.
Are you not entertained?
I can't take anything away from his acting, but and you see sort of actors kind of put on weight and lose weight.
He ain't doing it for the role,
but
he's doing it for the fucking cream rolls.
He's doing it. He's been on lockdown, and he's this was prior to lockdown. That I'm sure that they filmed it, but it does represent a giving
cheese
up,
rolls,
a giving up of your sort of how you want to be perceived in the acting world, because once you're that big, that's the thing. What I saw, because you see
Christian
people
Bale,
like De Niro,
Christian Bale Great example, right? You got the machinist, and then you've got his fattest role.
Yeah. I can't remember which one he's fat in.
I was really hoping that you were going to pick up the slack there on this hosting. And
well, De Niro, Raging Bull, he gains a bunch of weight and all this sort of. So people do this in Hollywood, but I just don't think there's any getting this soft.
Well, he's not a Hollywood. He's not American. He's a Kiwi. He's an Australian with a Kiwi influence, and maybe his motivation is not quite the same as Brad Pitt's,
Yeah, but
he's like, fuck it, I'll just be a fat cunt.
And that's fine if you want to live your life that way. That's
if you're
totally
a millionaire
reasonable.
And you're like, well, look.
Well, this is going to cause.
Oh, look, there's no doubt that he should, look after his health.
His life.
Yeah.
Shortening his life with this choice.
Yeah,
because that's the thing.
We all do that.
Totally fine with a little bit of a
choices.
Gut. Right. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is really quite significant and problematic.
Yeah.
So anyway, check it out. Unhinged.
Okay. All right. What's the rating on that one out of 5? 3 out of 5.
No, 3.5 out of 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Dottie Pie recommends the film The Hunt. Highly recommend. I have heard of that film. Thank you for reminding me, Dottie. I'm definitely going to watch that film. It looks pretty good.
There was a prophecy once. This is unrelated to Russell Crowe.
Okay.
But she who shall not be named,
Angie,
my ex-girlfriend who left me,
moved to LA
and is now raising another man's baby.
Her baby.
It is technically hers. Technically speaking, it's hers as well, I guess. Yep. Now we had matching electric toothbrushes. See, what happened one day was I went out. Well, we had admired these things from afar before, and one day I went out and I bought a couple. And that night, when it was time to brush our teeth, I got mine out without saying anything and just brushed my teeth with this electric toothbrush. She's like, "What the hell?" And then, of course, I gave her one. And it was a sweet moment. I am a sweet man. I've still got mine. It's fully functional. Well, I've still got mine. It's fully functional. And the last time I asked her, she still had hers as well. She's still using it. She's still got it. It's been 4 years or so. Now there is a prophecy. And the prophecy says that if the toothbrushes are ever reunited, that their owners will live in romantic nirvana for the rest of their lives. It's an ancient prophecy. Ancient prophecy. It's lost.
You didn't.
I didn't make it. It's lost to the annals of history. That's how old this prophecy is. But the thing is about this prophecy is that it also says that the woman who replaces that toothbrush will become my baby mama. Yeah. You see? And in many ways, I'm actually quite a lot like the toothbrush in the sense that it is not really holding its charge anymore. And it's also quite like...
It's a lot of similarities
kind of scummy and cruddy, particularly around the head. And so anyway, I threw that rubbish... I threw that toothbrush in the rubbish bin today. Threw it in the bin.
Right.
I mean, I got it out after a little while, but it was there. It was in the bin. It wasn't baby steps. It's only been 3.5 years. No. But I did. I threw it out, and it is actually still in the bin. It's still in the bin. It's gone. Right. The prophecy's over. I'm giving up. I'm moving on. I'm shutting the door. All right. I'm moving on from my ex-girlfriend.
How many years has it been?
It's been like 3.5 years. I believe she broke up with me on May 10th. 2016, maybe 2017. 2017 it must have been. I think it was May 10th, 2017 was when she broke up with me. So I guess you could say it's been coming up to 4 years now.
It's approaching 4 years.
Approaching 4 years.
And you've decided to make.
We were only together. We were only together for 5 years total.
The brave call
to get rid of it. Now they haven't taken the rubbish away yet. The rubbish goes out on Monday night, so I might still rummage through the wheelie bin and get it back out, just in case the prophecy is true. But for now, it's in the bin, and I'm fucking serious about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Angie, if you're listening, I want you to know this is getting serious. I'm really I'm gonna move on.
This is almost.
This is your last chance.
No, this is
it's almost your last chance.
It's probably not your last chance, but it's almost.
I'm getting serious.
Your last chance. There's a threat that one day, at some point in the future, it will be your last chance.
Exactly.
So let that sink
in. Exactly. You better check yourself. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. That's the update on She Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I tell you about this new room that I've got, right? So I did mention a couple of problems, right? But that I fixed. But I do have another concern, which is that I sort of became very aware of the fact that, like, behind me is a door, and the door has curtains. I open the curtains, I open the door, I'm outside. And outside in that area, people can hang up, my flatmates and so on can hang up their washing. So they can potentially be out there. They could be out there right now, listen to this conversation for all I know. Now, I realize now that I've moved into a place with kind of like less security, more of a public place, less security. I've realized how much dancing around naked is part of my creative process, and I'm sort of aware of that now, because I'm like, well, if I'm dancing around naked in here and there's just like, behind that curtain, do not look behind the curtain, ignore the man behind the curtain. That's me dancing naked behind the curtain and jotting down notes for the Guy and Harley podcast, you see. So that is a bit of a concern. Another wee concern I had was that they gave me the key for my door, and on the live stream you can see the key. That's fine. It's just it's very much a normal key, I guess. But basically, my issue with this key that they've given me for my door is I really feel like the security of this sort of old school type of key cannot be very strong. And basically, if you took this key that I have, that they've given me to this door in 2021, the year 2021, if you took this key and you showed...
It looks like a key from 1920.
Exactly. If you showed this key to an ancient Roman, in all seriousness, if you took this key in a time machine and showed it to an ancient Roman, they would know exactly what it was. They know exactly what it was. It hasn't changed in 2,000 to 3,000 years. And this is what they're giving me in the year 2021. All my shit's in here. I got this camera. I got all this computer gear. I got this, all these lights and shit. Fucking...
One of them's Twilight.
You'll be very upset if I get robbed.
Yeah, I do feel like they should probably replace that.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. They probably should. And the other thing that's a bit of a concern is that... So this... I'm living in a room which is like out the back of the house, right? And so basically what it is, it's the woodshed. It's the woodshed that has been converted. And I'm paying $265 a week for this. I've been conned here. I'm a fool. I moved into the woodshed for $265 a week, and it's a pretty weird little room. But yeah, anyway, so that's me. That's where I'm living right now. And then the other thing too, we mentioned my flatmates. The other thing too is they've given me 3 half cupboards in the kitchen. 3 half cupboards. That's not very useful to me. I want to consolidate that into 1.5 cupboards. I don't want 3 half cupboards. I've got 3 half cupboards, so all my shit's all spread out around the kitchen.
Did you?
Once I've settled in,
want to rock?
No, exactly. I was like, let's just get in here.
You don't want to be the difficult flatty with the 1.5 cupboards.
Exactly.
So just 3 half cupboards.
And one of them, when I say it's a half cupboard, it's not even a half cupboard. It's actually just a space on the floor, basically, because it's the ground level shelf of a set of 3 shelves. So it's the ground level shelf of a set of 3 shelves down there at ground level with the fucking pubes, and the pests, and it's just kind of useless to me, right? I'm not going to put any food products down there because let's not forget what a cupboard's designed for. What's the point of a cupboard? When the ancient Romans designed cupboards, what was the point of it? The point was to preserve your food and physically keep it away from the pests, like insects and rodents, which is why if you don't close your cupboard, you're dumb. You're not using your cupboards how they are designed to be used, Now, this thing on the floor that I've got, it's not even a cupboard. It's just a thing on the ground with pubes swirling around it, and my food down there. So I'm going to, once I've settled in and befriended the flatmates, I'm going to suggest that I consolidate my cupboard.
To make it a higher cupboard.
No, I'll give them the one on the ground floor, and what I want is another cupboard I've got half of. I want to say, give me this whole cupboard. Get your shit out of my cupboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big cool.
Yeah.
Big cool.
I'll be like, you get your shit out of this cupboard and put it on the floor next to the pubes. How do you like them apples?
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that cupboard. Well, I guess that probably should bring things to a close.
I guess so. I mean, I don't mind talking. I just don't have any notes left. So if the listeners on the live stream don't have any pressing questions or topics for us, then I guess we'd better get the fuck out of here. On the live stream, they do say that I've lost a lot of bristles as well, and that's why I'm similar to the toothbrush. That's a bald joke. That's a joke about me being bald. I'm actually very sensitive about that, John. No. And so I've lost a lot of bristles too. And John also thinks that the prophecy is beautiful. Well, tell my ex-girlfriend. Tell her to come back.
Well, she probably.
Well, she might if I send her this episode. And tell her not to listen to it.
As you sometimes do. Hey, Angie. Hey, we had a funny conversation on the podcast. Hey, it's probably a bad idea for you to listen to it. It's pretty embarrassing for me. Lol. But definitely don't listen to this link that I've just sent you. But because it's pretty embarrassing for me. The link that I've just sent you, the link here at 1 hour and 23. The link there is pretty embarrassing for me. So I'd hate for you to hear that link that I sent you that at 1:23. That's so embarrassing.
Another thing, right, is I'm finally reaching the point. Like I'm moving house. That toothbrush is a great example, right? I'm throwing away things. I'm throwing things away. Old things that I've had. I'm getting rid of them because they've got to go eventually, right? Eventually you wear things out and you got to get rid of them. And so it's just kind of funny because Angie's over there in America now with her baby daddy and her beautiful family, her beautiful young family, and she's obviously moved on with her life, and she's doing her own thing, and that's good, that's great for her. And here I am, standing over the rubbish bin, crying, and throwing a pair of holy old undies that I bought 6 years ago in Thailand when we were on vacation over there together. I'm throwing them in the bin, these holy old undies, and I'm going, goodbye, Angie. Meanwhile, she's at the park with her family. She's not thinking about me at all.
Well, that's the thing, is you have not you haven't even entered it into a realm of thought. While all that's going on, literally she's thinking about her child.
Shitty diapers. She's thinking about shitty diapers. That's what she's thinking about.
She's thinking about her new partner, the life that they're making together. You have not penetrated into her sphere of consciousness in any meaningful way in a long, long time. Throwing these holy undies in the
bin, yeah,
and the toothbrush, talking about the
prophecy. The toothbrush prophecy,
which you made up.
I didn't make it up. It's an ancient prophecy. It's ancient. The ancients made it up. It predates Jesus, actually.
So yeah, it is a little bit of a state of affairs. So just understand, Angie, that the door is almost
closing.
closed.
Angie,
the door is only half ajar.
I mean, I can open the door again though, even if I close it.
With Harley peeking.
It's got a door handle. I can open it again. I'm going to close the door, but if you decide to come back in a few years, you just let me know.
Open it.
Yeah, I'll just open it again. Also, when a door closes, a window opens, so you can just climb through the window if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, one door closes, another opens. The back door. So head on through that.
Well, on heading through the back door, I guess we should wrap up this episode of the Guy and Harley podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Shout out to our listeners on the live stream, John Ross and Dottie Pie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you go find us on our social media platforms. The keyword is Pigville, Pigville, Pigville. That's the keyword you want everywhere on YouTube, on Facebook, all the rest of it. If you want to find the Guy and Harley podcast, go to facebook.com/GuyAndHarley. If you want to support us financially, go to patreon.com/Pigville. You can also sponsor an episode of this podcast next time. All you need is the email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. If you have the email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com, you can go to paypal.com and you can use that email to send us some money for the beers next week, and we will drink the beers on the show and shout you out as the sponsor. Because that's how we roll That's how we roll, dudes. We also would love it if you went to olderfilm.com. That is really one of the best things you can do for us at the moment, is check out our film, olderfilm.com. Hit buy now and you can watch it. Also, we did mention I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. You can find that online as well.
We need to make our quarterly earnings. We need to make our quarterly projections. So the best way you could do that is check it out on Tubi or Amazon. And if you haven't, please consider giving it a review as well. So I'm talking to you, John Ross and Dottie Pie. If you haven't had time already, I'm sure you have. But
wherever you're listening, make sure you hit thumbs up. Make sure you hit like. And of course, we do have merchandise as well, which you can get on facebook.com/GuyAndHarley. And on that note, we will see you next week.
See you later.